Hi, it's Zax here. I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer to let you guys know that the audio for this is especially trash. I think if you've been watching all of them, you know that I'm not very good at editing and the sound is always trash, but this time it was especially trash and like I don't know what's going on, but there's like literally like a demon monster for the whole video and I tried to get it out and I tried to play with the noise gate and everything, but no matter what I did it wouldn't go away and it's like in the middle of talking and I didn't want to like lose what we were saying. So, um hopefully you don't hate me and I'm not total trash. But anyway, thank you and bye. Okay. Yeah. Hi,
Hi,
Matt.
I'm Matt. Hi, Zach.
So, we're coming at you guys today with episode 4 of Greenhouse Academy season 1. And a little refresher, like obviously you can watch the other parts to catch up on everything, but last episode ended with a huge cliffhanger. We did not see the results of Jackie's lie
Did
detector
she
test.
pass? Did she not pass? Is she gonna go to jail? All of this and more will be answered in literally the first minute of this episode. The
like
cold opening.
maybe the first 5
The first,
seconds.
the
Yeah,
first,
like
the first 10 seconds. As in true greenhouse fashion, can't have any drama that goes on for long. It opens up with Jackie going, "Oh, by the way, I passed." Walks out. I passed.
it was so like when I first watched, because I watched it, we were binging it, so it was like super, super anticlimactic. But now that we've watched it like with like weeks in between, how did you feel
I
about
forgot she
that
even took a.
opening?
I forgot she even took the lie detector test. It was even more anticlimactic because I forgot it even happened.
Yeah,
Just walks
because I
out and she
guess
goes, "I
that's
passed," and I'm like, "Pass what again? Just pass?"
yeah. I guess that's kind of makes me think just about like because it's on Netflix, so you can just binge it. So it's almost like why bother having a cliffhanger? But then I think if they ever put the show like on Nickelodeon or wherever they would put it, if I had to wait week to week, how would I feel
I
about
I
it?
would
And I still don't
I would
know.
feel a little burned that it's instantly revealed in the first 10 seconds because
Yeah, because
because you need to give me like a little more build up than that. You can't end on like a cliffhanger in the last minute of the last episode, then have your cliffhanger resolved in the first 5 seconds of the next episode. You haven't built enough tension for that. Like the tension isn't
yeah.
just going to build itself because I had to wait a week to watch it. It's still like you still have to build more tension.
Yeah, especially because like they were just sort of standing there like, well, and she was like, okay, I passed. But it's like, you could have easily, like, because it doesn't add anything to the rest of the episode. They're just finishing off the episode 3. So you could have cut off, like, some random filler from that episode and just had it end there, too.
Yeah,
Like, you didn't need to do a
that's
cliffhanger.
the thing
So it
about
was
a lot
just
of
weird.
cliffhangers. I feel like, especially in children media, uh,
Yeah.
it happens a lot. It happens in books too. I'd like to say, like I remember when I was a kid and um, I'd read something like Goosebumps, whatever. There's a chapter, and you get to the chapter, and the tension's ramping up. It'd be like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" It'd be like, and I felt something slimy touch my hand. You'd be like, and then you'd go to the next chapter. It'd be like, "Oh, it's just the cat," and I'd be like, "Oh, well, okay. I don't really want to read this chapter now. I guess I'll just put it down and get back to it sometime later." Like when you can't defuse the entire drama from that cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. It's not the point of
Yeah.
cliffhanger. They heighten the drama because you don't know what's gonna happen next. What's happened next should be just as exciting as what the previous thing is. Like you gotta keep ramping that up, or at least not
Yeah.
drop it entirely. At least keep it steady. Like the reveal
Yeah.
had better. Here's what I say for cliffhanger: the reveal had better like be just as exciting as the lead up to the reveal was, if that makes sense. Like if it's revealed it was just the cat and then like all the tension is dropped and that's it, that's a bad cliffhanger. because now like
Yeah.
I have no desire to keep going. Like it's deflated. You've deflated the entire thing.
Yeah, like, and I don't really know how this cliffhanger could have been saved other than not having it at all. Like, even with like that rule of thumb, like maybe if like we just saw like Lewis talking to her and she looked really serious, like we watched that for a little bit and then, or like we saw her leaving the lie detector test to remind us that she just took a lie detector
Hmm.
test, and then Lewis was talking to her and they like looked, and then like we see the other guys and they're like, oh my god, what's going on, right? Then she goes up to talk to them and she's like, no, I'm just kidding, I passed. And then they're like,
Oh
okay, then that's like kind of a fun fake out because like
yeah,
we were all worried about it
yeah.
for a long
You
time and
kept
then
me
she
on the edge
psyched
of
us
my seat a
out.
little
Like,
bit.
yeah, and it's like that's like you can psych us out like sometimes. Like that's fine too. But like the fact that it was just like Greenhouse Academy, I passed. Uh,
Oh,
oh.
okay.
Thanks. Okay, let's move on from the cliffhanger because we could talk about that for like 10 years. So, okay, so once we leave that she passed it, we're going back to, I think, what? I know, oh, right. No, that didn't happen yet. We didn't do their first day of school. After the cliffhanger thing, we go to the Ravens,
Yeah.
right? Oh, right, yes. Okay, so the FBI guys are leaving and we see Daniel looking over the staircase like a super like scared muscly boy. And so he does what any normal person does. He goes to the beach, does a few
Does his taser
stretches,
stretches and then he tosses the taser
out into the
out into the
ocean,
ocean
just
where
tosses
you
it.
throw your taser. That's where tasers go. Where illegally obtained
Yeah.
tasers that you don't want cops to find go right in the ocean where they float back a couple days. And it pans
Ugh.
over and it reveals that his girlfriend, who he has no chemistry with, saw him throw something.
She saw him throw it. And then when she goes, then like she goes home and then, well, she goes to school and her dad, the owner, Lewis, is there and he like hugs her and he's like, "Don't worry about anything. They had to take a lie detector test because there was a taser scandal, but it's all right now." And then she's like,
Taser.
"Taser?
No.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Taser. Wait. What? Taser. You got to do it like in her voice. This is just how she talks.
Oh, oh yeah. I emoted too
Yeah.
much."
Taser. Wow.
So then we see Haley and Leo are going back to their house and like Haley is starting to like she's trying to open the door with her Louie because she's, she doesn't need a gentleman
Yeah.
to open
He
her door
doesn't
for
need
her.
no
She'll do
man.
it, but it doesn't work. And so she's like, man, my Louie has just really been giving me trouble this last like two
Yeah.
days. And so then Leo looks at it, and I am not kidding. He
He
literally,
looks at it
like,
10
she
seconds.
hands it to him. Yeah,
10 seconds.
the time it took her to hand it to him and his eyes to reach down to the Louie, he's like, oh, well, this is a fake. That's
Which
why.
I brought
But
this up. I was like, so there's one of two things here. Either her Louis like doesn't work at all. This fake one doesn't work at all for anything, which is insane in and of itself. She's just been carrying like a stylus with her this whole time, and only just now has she like thought about it. You know what I mean? Or even more insane, they somehow got a Louis. They somehow got a fake Louis that replicates enough of the Louis' functions to trick her into thinking it was real, which I think is, I'm not sure which one of those is the more insane things, that she's carried this around for 2 days and has been completely unusable and she never thought to like investigate why it doesn't do anything, or that they somehow managed to fake a Louis, this technology that nobody has except Lewis himself. Like, both of those are equally insane.
yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards more that she just didn't use it at all.
Which is what you have to
But
use
that
it to get
doesn't
in and out
really,
of the door, though.
because, like, they sort of mentioned it in the last episode. Because remember, she had to knock. And then Leo goes to the door and he's like, "Hey, what's going on? Lose your Louis already?" She's like, "I don't know. It didn't open this time." And he was like, "Huh, weird," and just dropped it. So then this time he was like, "Well, let me take a look at it," because I guess so. But that's even weirder because she did sort of bring it up. She just wasn't that bothered by it, I guess. She wasn't bothered by her new, like, $1 billion worth piece of technology or whatever.
Not doing anything?
Like, and like you've only had it, like you have, because like the deal was she was going to go to the school for a month and see how she liked it. I don't even think it's been a full week yet at
We're
this
on like
school.
day.
Yeah. So, like, anyway. So then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna look at our Louis database to see if your Louis has, like, gotten any access or whatever." And then we find out that, like we already knew from last episode, Alex has her Louis. And he used it, and that's how the Eagles destroyed the Ravens' dorm. Which leads to my absolute favorite line in the entire show. She storms out of the school, somehow knows Alex is on the beach, storms to the beach after him and says, "Tell me it isn't true, Alex." And then he's like,
What?
"What?" And then, "What?"
What? Get
She
it?
goes up to him and she's like, "Yeah."
What?
She's like, and then she's like, "Tell me it isn't true. Did you hug me and make peace with me just so you could steal my Louis?" And that is the exact line,
It's
and
such a poetic line.
I want someone to betray me so bad so that I could say that to them.
You
I
hug
need
me and make
someone.
peace with me just so you can steal my Louis.
And they'll be like, "No, like robbed your house. No, you stole my Louis."
I love how it's so awkwardly delivered. Like it's
And
no,
like
it's not even that it's
such
awkwardly delivered. It's an awkward line to deliver, and it's delivered awkwardly. Like what a mouthful! Did you hug me and make peace with me just so you could steal my Louis? There's
like
way
yeah,
too
you
many words
I
in
mean,
that sentence for what it's trying to convey.
yeah, literally anything would have been better. Like, "Yo, bro, you stole my Louis?" What gives?
Hug me and make peace with me just so you could steal my Louis.
And like, but credit to Ariel Mormon because she said that with a straight
I know, I
face, and
don't know how,
like,
but she did.
I would love, like, I don't know if there are greenhouse bloopers, but if there's not a blooper reel for that scene alone, like, there is somewhere. Like, did you?
For a
I'm
split,
sorry, guys. One more
for a
time. Like, I'm sorry.
for a split second, I thought you were gonna say I don't know if there are a greenhouse like audition. I thought you were gonna say I would love to audition for that role so I could say that line.
I think I would too, but like, I mean, I get fired, I think. So then, Alex doesn't really say anything. He's just kind of like, does he even say anything
I don't
actually, or
remember.
does he just sort of? I can't. I feel like he just stands there and is like, And so anyway, so she's like, "I can't handle this school and their games and my brother's betrayal." So she goes to leave the school, and like she's gonna leave Alex a note saying goodbye, but Lewis is right
Yeah,
there.
right there when you least expect it. He's like a horror movie villain. He like turns around. Whoa, Louis, Lewis. What are you doing here? He's like Slenderman. Right when you least expect, collect 6 of the 8 pages. Lewis there asking you how you are.
Gosh, I can only ever get up to like
Yeah, you collect
pages.
4 pages and turn around and Lewis is there and he's like, "Oh, leaving the school, are you? What's up? What you doing?"
And also, like, here's something we were talking about. Like, I don't know, like, I don't think we fully agree yet, but I'm thinking there's something weird a little bit going on
He
with
he
Lewis
does seem to
because
check up on her a
he's
lot, doesn't he?
he checks up on only her. Like, let's address. Here's the people that we know are new students this year. Well, maybe he's just got a thing for bad girls because he does check in on Jackie too, and she robbed a bank, and he likes the cut of Haley's gym. But other new students that I have not seen him talk to at
Uh,
all, ever,
even if
really.
he does, it's really kind of weird how he just like shows up in their personal space to talk to everybody uninvited, isn't it? Isn't it a little
Yeah,
weird anyway that he keeps doing this?
yeah, cause like then like hey, cause he's like like the first few days of weeks at the greenhouse are really hard. Like I'd be worried if you were fine right now. And she's like, no, I get it, but it's not that. I'm gonna go home to be with my dad. And he's like, okay, but you're always
There's
our door
always
is
open.
always open. Yeah,
You're like, okay,
always
okay,
here. And she's
all
like,
right.
thanks. But like, oh, one thing we forgot to mention when first she's told him she was leaving, he was like, was it the polygraph test? And like,
Yeah,
PSA, Louis, nobody cares
it's
about
like
your
the
dumb
third time
polygraph.
he's
That's
brought this up.
such a
Second time
dumb
he's
thing.
brought this up to somebody
He's like real bent out of
over that
shape. He's like,
Yeah,
Greenhouse Academy people don't need to take polygraph tests. And like, nobody cares. But the way he said it, it was the same thing. Like as if he was like, "Are you leaving because
is it?
they
Is it?
tarred and feathered you the other day?"
Is
Like,
it the?
was
Was
it
it
the
the
polygraph
polygraph
test?
test?
Was it the curb stomp outside? Like, it was like so like Lewis. It's not that deep. It wasn't even for her. She wasn't even under. She
Lewis
also
seems
was
to be the
like
one that's the most been out of shape about this. Nobody else seemed to really care about that polygraph test except
like
Lewis.
but also to put it in perspective, Haley straight up knew one of the FBI agents. Like he's come over for dinner. It's her dad's best friend. She was fine.
Yeah, but is it the
Okay, so
polygraph
then
test? I need to know. I need to have my polygraph test fears justified. This
oh my
polygraph test
gosh.
is costing me students. We should ban all polygraph tests, all of them. I'm gonna create a device. All right, its sole purpose is to stop polygraph tests. I'm gonna call it the Lewis. Hmm.
I don't know why, but I first pictured a
Yeah,
Roomba.
the Roomba.
Like but it would just go around like
It
like
zaps yeah,
absorbing
it
polygraph
absorbs
tests.
the polygraph from the polygraph. That way,
Yeah.
my
So it'd be a
academy, yeah,
Loomba.
Loomba. That's what it is. The Loomba.
A Loomba. Okay, so she leaves, and then we get. So if you recall, favorite part of watching Greenhouse Academy is playing a few games. But today we're gonna go back to the first game I ever asked you guys about, which is what is the curriculum? So it's the first day of official classes, and Leo is like, "Huh, where's Haley?" And then they're like, "I don't know, but she seemed pretty upset yesterday, so I don't know." So he's like, "Cover for me," and he leaves. Okay, great. Now their teacher comes out, and they're all sitting out on the grass, the Ravens, like all 10 of them, I guess. And the teacher comes up to them and she's like, "What is a leader to you?" And they all give like their answers like Ronald Reagan, Kim Kardashian, David Bowie, like all those people. And then she's like, "Okay, those are good examples. Real life applicable examples. But instead, what about Sheriff Woody from Toy
Yeah,
Story?"
remember my boy Sheriff? Yeah.
So then she says, "Okay, I want you to think of one word that describes what makes Woody a good leader." And then you can turn that in the rest of the day, at the end of the day. And then they're like, "Wait, so you just want us to think about Sheriff Woody for hours and then bring you back like one word?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Welcome to the greenhouse." And she walks off. And I'm like, "But okay, let's let's back up a little bit here because teach. She was literally there.
She
Like
was
she
there for like
also
5
I
seconds.
like that.
Teacher showed up for
Yeah.
5 seconds, say this, and left.
And like it's not even like in other TV shows where like we only see like bits of the conversation, but like we can infer that like an hour has passed or whatever. Like, because the fact that these students actually called her on it and were like, Wait, that's it? Like, that's when you done goof. Like, if your students are actually asking for more,
That's
like,
kind of that's it.
maybe, maybe you should do a little more. I don't know. That's just me, though, I guess. So,
I don't know. It's great. Oh, that was weird. It's I don't know. It's really weird to me. I wonder how much these teachers get paid. I wonder do they get paid because they seem to put like zero effort into teaching any of these classes. Who is this woman too? Because like every other time we see a teacher that isn't the coach, it's always like Lewis, who's always
yeah,
doing it. He's like, this is the opening game or whatever. And like the one time we see like an
yeah.
actual teacher, she she's just like, all right, think of a word that describes Woody. What do you know? There's coffee in that break room that needs to be drunk right now. All right, and I'm the right one to drink it. Bye. And then she just leaves. And it's like, is that she gets paid to do this, right? She's
Yeah,
getting paid for
and
this?
it's like,
Does she have other stuff
yeah,
to
like,
do here? Is this her whole is this all her responsibility?
like, I guess maybe she's going to do it with the Eagles
Yeah,
now?
the only other class here? Isn't it weird? There's
But
only like 20 kids at this school.
yeah, it's very, very weird. Although, like, I feel like they're dialing back on extras because for the scavenger hunt, it looked like there was a solid 40, 50 kids in this academy.
But only two houses.
Only two
This
houses.
school
And,
makes
like, they all share a
this
bedroom.
school makes no sense. I don't know, like that that,
It,
that this scene is the scene that like got me scratching my head again about how this school is supposed to work. Like I don't know, like that doesn't seem like good curriculum to me. Is it even curriculum? Is this a school or is this a summer camp? You know what? This is exactly the kind of thing my camp counselors would do at summer camp when they didn't want to be around us. You know? This is exactly what they would do.
busy work,
Yeah, they'd be
yeah.
like, I don't know, think of the color blue and come back to me. I don't know, uh, at the end of the day, I guess. Just tell me what you come up with. Bye. I had so many like summer camp classes that were like that, where we'd come in and the summer camp teacher would be looking at their phone, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, make a craft and tell me what that craft means to you or something." And then they go back to looking at their phone and completely ignoring you. Like that is what this teacher doing. She's doing summer camp counselor tactics here. Except this is like a
I
big
didn't go.
paid school. I
Yeah.
think either
I
that or this
didn't.
is just a summer camp that's year round. I'm not sure because this seems more like a summer
well,
camp.
well, like, I don't. I also don't remember, like. Okay, because remember we were talking earlier, like I think even in the first episode, we were talking about the budget of this
Yeah,
show and how like do Alex and Haley both get scholarships into the school? Because like the dad has been out of it. He was just like he couldn't even take Alex to the academy. Haley is already in another school. If you need to transfer schools, you can't just go to another school. You have to drop out of your one school you're in and then enroll in the other school or whatever. I don't know if it's drop out, but like you have like you need to fill out paperwork. You don't just start going to another school. Like, people need to talk to people and work that out. But also the dad, who's like, I guess, because also the mom, I think, was definitely the breadwinner. Because granted, he's an FBI agent, but she was like working for
yeah. She
NASA
was. She went to outer
and
space.
going to space and yeah. So and like doing like some sort of science stuff that we don't really understand yet in the show. But like, so she was the breadwinner. Can he even afford for Alex to go to the school anymore, let alone both of them? And then, so anyway, all right, I'm gonna just leave that there for a second. So then, so then, hey, put a pin
Yeah,
in
just
it.
put a pin in it.
So yeah, so then we go back to Haley. She's back home, and her dad is like looking at his computer and just being a good sleuthy boy, I guess. And she's like does that thing where you try to get somebody's attention and they're not listening to you, so then you say crazy things. But it doesn't work this time. Because she's like, okay, I guess I'm going to join the convent, going to the Vatican
In her
tomorrow.
in his defense, she does say that really monotone flatly. Just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Alright, have fun.
uh, they're trying to do that old
And
Seinfeld skit, sketch. I don't
which episode?
know. I don't know the bet. They're redoing the old bet
Oh,
where she comes in. They're looking at the naked lady across the street, and like, so I'm going to the moon, or something, and they're like, have fun, yeah, staring out the window.
oh right. Yeah, they
I'm
are.
not sure if that was an intentional callback.
I could see the four of them doing that though, and I think I remember the episode you're
I
talking
don't remember
about.
the.
So yeah,
I don't remember.
I
I
think
just remember the skit, but I wonder if this was the callback. Probably not.
no, I don't think it was intentional. It doesn't do anything on purpose.
I think so.
So then, um, so he's like, whatever, and then she's like, "What are you doing? Like, why can't you talk to me?" And he's like, "I'm looking over the things. I want to know what your mother was doing the last month of her life." And then she's like, "Ugh, so annoying with your
Ugh.
like grief,
Oh my
dad. Like, I'm
god.
so sick of you
Why do you care
grieving
about
your
our
dead
mom?
wife."
Ugh.
Like,
Ugh.
and then like
Stop
there's a knock
trying
at
to
the door, and
figure
he
out what
looks
our mom is
super
doing,
like,
Dad.
"It's not gonna bring her
It's not gonna bring her
back, you."
back, Dad.
Like he's it just she's everyone like you might notice a theme. Every episode seems to have somebody yelling at this
This
man
poor man.
for grieving his wife. Like, because last episode, right,
Yeah.
it was Eric, and he was like, "Soon you're not gonna have anybody left. Your kids are gonna
Yeah.
leave you, and
Stop mourning your
like
dead
all of."
wife.
And it's like it has been 8 months. It has not even been a full year since this woman died.
For real. They're
Give
they're
him a
really hard on
break.
him. And I love how he's sitting there doing detective work too. Like he's trying like he thinks something is amiss. And he's sitting there and he's
Yeah.
coming up with clues and he's like, "Oh, something's amiss. I think I got this down." And his daughter's just like, Stop. Mom's dead. Stop trying to have closure. Piece of garbage. No closure. You're not allowed to have closure. There's other things in life
Yeah.
to do besides get closure with your dead wife." And I don't know. I think he might be onto something. But nobody will let him do anything.
So then we cut again to um Daniel, and he has prepared a beautiful candlelight dinner for um him and Brooke
Mm.
to eat. They have their little pink
Yeah,
juice
have
and like
big
little like
Star Wars too.
champagne flutes. They have like I don't know what the actual meal was. Some sort of pasta,
Yeah,
right?
it looked like spaghetti. Pasta
Yeah.
spaghetti.
And she's like, "Wow, how'd you have time to do all this?" He's like, "Oh, blah blah. I just thought I'd whip us
Yeah,
up
he was
some
like, I had a
dinner."
lot of energy after doing my run at the beach,
Oh yes,
which
that is what
doesn't
he said. And
answer how you had time to do this. I'd like to say that answers how you had the energy to do it. But it doesn't say anything about how you had time to do it.
that's true. I didn't even think of that. You're right. Well, that's because he's the king of dodging questions. Because then she's like, "Hey, so I saw you at the beach, and it looks like you threw
Like,
something."
haha, yeah, just throwing rocks. That's what you do.
And if
Throwing
you're,
rocks at the beach.
yeah.
That helps you ease your mind.
And I was just thinking, he is so smooth. Like, he's such a good liar. It's a little scary because he's like, "Yeah, it sounds silly, huh? But it just really helped me clear my mind." Like, not even
Doesn't like not
thinking
even a
about an answer
not
at all.
even
He just
doesn't skip a
immediately.
beat. Does not skip a beat in the slightest.
And then,
Does she
yeah.
call him out for throwing the taser? I can't remember.
No, she doesn't, because she didn't know what it
Oh,
was. She just saw him throw something, so she's like, okay. Like, it doesn't sit right with her because she's been, like, suspicious all along because she's like, what's going on? Like, why is there medicine in your locker?
oh
Like,
yeah, no,
what?
she
Like,
called him
you're
out on
not
the
telling
medicine
me.
in the locker. That's what it was. She's like,
Yeah.
I know you had
And then,
medicine in the locker.
and then he just sort of wasn't he just sort of like, you need to stop spying on me and walk off? Like,
Oh,
something like that. Like, he just lies, gaslights, and then leaves.
that's that's the Chad way. He's a real Chad.
He is. Is she a
She's a
Stacy?
true Stacy and he's a true Chad.
Oh, they're meant to be.
Not really. They have no chemistry.
Okay.
They have. I would like to say that too. I'm going on record and just saying it right here in this episode. These two characters have no chemistry with each other, and this scene exemplifies that. And I think it's mainly just down to her performance. She talks like this all the time, and she sounds like she's on the verge of death always, and she has no emotion.
Yeah.
And when you have no emotions, it's really hard for me to believe that you're into anybody.
Yeah. Because, like, Daniel has pretty good chemistry with
Yeah,
everybody
Daniel's got
else.
great chemistry. Daniel is
Yeah.
charismatic. Daniel is the kind of guy you wanna give a high five and a bro hug to. But she's just like, uh-huh. And I'm supposed to believe these two people are in love with each other when he's like the only one who puts in any effort, and she's
True.
just she's just there. And like normally it's like the guy just using the girl as like, eye candy or whatever, but she's literally like not trying at all. She's just always there, like in a monotone voice, just being eye candy, barely doing anything while he puts in all the hugs and the love and everything else. Like she's not a very good actor. I don't know what to say. I have trouble believing that she's into anything that she's doing.
No, I'd agree with all of that. Oh, okay. So then back to the Haley's house. Oh, well, okay, before we go back to that, there was a very cute scene with Jackie and Max. So after they get their 3 hour assignment of thinking about Sheriff Woody, he follows her and he's like, hey, so we could do that assignment together. She's like, no, I don't want to. So he tricks her and he says, oh, I just love when Sheriff Woody says to infinity and beyond. And she's like, yep, love when he says that too. And he's like, gotcha.
Haha!
He doesn't say that.
Max is the
What?
best character
Buzz,
in this show. He is.
and then she looks like she's about to punch him. And he's like, it's okay. I know you didn't see me. I just want to help you. So then, okay, if you didn't want to marry Max before, you do now because he takes her to his little secret server room that controls the whole entire
Yeah.
academy servers, by the way. So he probably shouldn't be messing around in there, but like I'll
This
let
is
it
just
pass
this
because
is
this
where
is
he
too
lives.
cute.
He lives.
He lives here. So he has a little chair set up. He has the movie playing. He gives her a bowl of popcorn. He puts a pillow behind her back, and he gives her a blanket
Mm-hmm.
so she could just. And then he
Yeah, like the true
leaves
gentleman he is. Gives her space, lets her watch her movie,
to
and
just
goes about his day.
nothing. Yeah, no second like ulterior motives or anything. He just truly wanted her to do well on the
And watch
assignment
that
and
movie.
see the
Yeah.
movie. It's so sweet. I love
The
Max so
best
much. Like,
character. He is.
yeah. Um, okay, so now back to trashing on the show. We come
Yeah, because
back
the next scene
to,
doesn't have Max in it. Not a
yeah, pretty much. Hashtag free
bad
Max. So then, the next we're back at Haley's house, and we see her in the kitchen, and the dad's sort of like just wandering about. Like I don't even know how he wound up in the kitchen.
just there.
Actually, I think did she call him? She might have even called him in to berate him. So anyway, so he gets there. He's like, "Huh, what's going on?" She's like, "How can you live like this, Dad? In this filth?" And I'm like, it looks like a bunch of dirty dishes, but I feel like they're using a real house, so they didn't want to mess it up too much.
Honestly, it looked kind of like
Cause
my
like,
kitchen.
you know,
But I mean, I
like
don't think I live in filth, honestly. But maybe if Haley came over to my house,
she'd be like, "Get over your dead wife, Matt."
oh, but I don't even have a dead wife.
You do now.
What?
I don't know what that implies.
What? I don't even have a dead
Okay,
wife,
so
and somehow I'm still getting berated for mourning her.
you're always mourning her when you live in filth.
You just have a dirty house. It means you have a dead wife.
I want there to be like t-shirts that say like, "I promise my wife isn't dead, I just don't like to clean."
That'd be a good sign for my kitchen. That'd be exactly the kind of sign that needs to go in my kitchen.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love it. Okay. So then so the dad's like, "Oh, I mean, I guess he says, "Sorry, I didn't know you were coming." And she's like, "I didn't realize I needed to give a heads up to come home." And he's like, "No, no, you didn't." And it's like, "But kind of you do. You are in boarding
We're
school
in.
now." Like, I mean, but like if you're in boarding school, you should stay in boarding school, right? Like, so you kind of do need to give a heads up because again, we don't even know if your dad can afford for you to go to this school that you're going to. But whatever. So then she's like, "You haven't said a word to me since I got home, and like your wife's dead, but we're alive and you're alive, so forget about her." And then he gives her this weird, like, face strokey thing and then a hug. And it was like, okay, like I knew you were sad. I didn't realize you need to be reintroduced to society. Because what was that weird face stroke thing? He put like, she had a tear, but like to wipe it, he put like three of his fingers like just sort of on her cheek. And then just like sort of left. It was so weird. So then she goes upstairs and we cut, and then um he's like, "Well, as usual, you were right, so I'm just over my
Yeah,
wife
that's
now."
it. That's it. There you
One
go.
stern.
You're right.
I
Haha,
mean,
I
I
shouldn't have
guess.
been mourning my dead wife and trying to investigate what I think might have been foul play. I shouldn't have done that at all. You're right. I should just get over it. Bizarre.
Yeah.
And he
And
does.
so then oh yeah,
And he just does.
he's done with her. Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, so like they have like this serious heart to heart." And then he's like, "Oh, by the way, this guy's here." And then out comes Leo. One, I guess he was talking to Louis when he ditched the class and asked them to cover for him. So Lewis, did he give Leo
Her address?
her address? Because if so, bad, not okay. Two, did he just somehow find out where she
Looked it
lived?
up. Went to www.wheredoesgirl.com.
Oh, of course.
And he put in her name, and
So
that's all you.
what? So I don't really like this, and I know not a lot of people care, but this is just something that's always bothered me every time I watch this episode. Because she's just been hanging out at home all day. Like, it's TV, so it's not like she actually looked like trash, but this is like she's just lounging at home, being chill or whatever. And this guy that she kind of likes just showed up. Like, I feel like she'd be like, "Oh wow, I wish I looked like a
I
little
wish I
more
didn't
like
look like a
presentable."
couch potato.
Yeah, like a little heads up, but also the fact that Leo's just been standing in the hallway while she's having this like long heart to heart with her dad. Like, that's kind of private, and I think I would like to know someone was like out there before I had that sort of moment, right?
Yeah.
But,
I don't
I
even like it when
get
my
it if
parents come call. I think if my friends came up and told me,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, oh, this is a scene that happened earlier, but like, it's not really like it adds literally nothing to it, and you are not going to hear about these people ever again. But here's a little taste of it. So, her friends from before she went to Greenhouse come over, Owen and Meriden, and they're like, she's like, "Oh, hey, you guys. So what did I miss while I've been gone?" And they were like, "Not much. We've just had so much homework. They need to chill with that." And then the other guy, Owen, is like, "But I bet that's nothing compared to what they had you doing at the greenhouse." And she was like, Actually, we just went on a scavenger hunt." And he's like, "Ugh, they're so pretentious." And I'm like, "Okay, so it didn't really matter what she said.
He
You
was
were
gonna
going to
dunk on
say
it
they're
no
so
matter what.
pretentious." Yeah, like even if she'd said like, "Yeah, you're right. They really do give us a lot of homework." And then he'd be like, "Ugh, they're so pretentious." Or she'd be like, "Actually, I feel like we probably have the same amount of homework, being honest." He'd be like, "Ugh, they're still
So
pretentious somehow." You'd be like, "What?"
he just seemed kind of
But
like a
yeah,
jerk.
so yeah, and it's like I don't even know how we're supposed to feel or not feel about them. Like we're not gonna see them
Okay.
again. They gave
So
up on them. So going back to so then Leo's talking with her and he's like, "Why'd you leave the academy?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I want to be with my dad. He needs me." And he's like, "Oh, your dad needs you. Your brother
yeah,
needs
he
you.
comes
What are
in.
you
He's
gonna
trying.
do something for
He
yourself?"
comes in trying to be
Like,
all smooth operator, and it completely falls flat. He's just like, oh, okay, like not. Leo tries a lot to be a smooth operator, but Leo's not. He's not a smooth operator at all. He also have
yeah, but he does sing the song, so he gets a
like
pass.
you except in a band. That's literally Leo.
Yeah.
That is Leo in a nutshell.
Yeah.
He plays his rendition of Wonderwall for the beginning.
So then there's a basketball game. So, oh, this is a cute moment. So then, like, Gil goes up to Alex. He's like, "Hey, you feeling good without like, how are you feeling now that your sister left?" He's like, "Honestly, I'm relieved. We're gonna kick the other team's butt, and in fact, we're gonna have them go home crying." And then, like, Daniel says something, and he's like, blah blah blah, yeah. And then everyone's cheering and getting really amped. And then Parker puts on his pink shirt, and it's not supposed to be pink. The Ravens got them, and they're all so mad
Yeah, because their
because
shirts were
they
wrong
have to.
color.
But
But they
like,
also
you
destroyed the
guys,
entire Ravens like place.
yeah. You okay, so let's just do the little like scales here. On like one hand, put it down. They vandalized a whole dorm. Seven, like however many students there are, like 10 people sleep there, and they had hours of repairs to do once you were done. You also did things to people's bodies while they were sleeping, like painting their faces and the
Okay, well that
like,
could
and
have
whatever
gone a
else you people
multitude of different
did.
ways described like that.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean to at first, but it just worked out. Still true though. We don't know what happened. Okay, but then on the other hand, the Ravens put a red sock in your wash, and now your gym clothes are pink. Like, you can't really be that
But they
bad. If
were
anything,
that
you should be.
bad. That's the thing. They were that
They
bad.
were so. They were furious, but it's like, if anything, you should be like, wow, what chums. They couldn't even get back at us properly.
Oh, they were real mad.
They were so
They were
furious.
uncomfortably angry.
It was like.
Uncomfortably angry. Oh,
I feel like that actually is like pretty good.
sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so then yeah, so then we go back. Well, no, they're playing their basketball game or whatever, and then evil lady Judy, she comes in. She like walks in like with her little sassy walk, and she sees that Daniel is not in the center. So she takes some kid's picture, yanks it off, puts Daniel in the middle, takes her fine time to like make sure it's all like symmetrical and even and level, and then she just slings the other kid's photo back on and then walks off. And like the dean of the school, Lewis's son, is watching her do all this, and he's just kind of like, "Oh, you,"
Oh,
and then they walk into the bleachers. And then the game's going on, she's watching, and she's like, "Oh, good. Now that Haley's gone, we can get rid of Alex." And then um, the dean's like, "I'm working on it," and she's like, "Well, work harder." Because she's his boss. And so then, but again, this is something else. Like, if anybody like is ever watching this and they watch the Greenhouse Academy, what does Judy do for a living?
she,
What do people think she's doing? Because we don't really even know why she's evil yet. We just know that there's something off, but like she commands authority from everybody. She apparently paid for the
yeah.
gym, the
I
new
was about to
gym that
say,
they have.
do you think that
Like,
she doesn't actually do anything and she's just like super rich and she just pays for stuff at the school just so she can boss everyone around at it?
well, but like, how'd she get the
Who
money? Because
knows?
we do not hear about Daniel's dad, and I'm like,
Maybe she's just inherited a bunch of wealth from her mother who had an unfortunate accident down the stairs, you know. And she's just super rich and she likes to boss everyone around at her school that she owns now. That's the only thing I can think of because she doesn't seem to actually be doing anything.
she doesn't do
She
anything.
just got
Okay, so
no.
then,
Oh, she got the money. She's like evil, isn't she? She got it from some evil scheme, I'm sure.
I guess so. That's true too. So then
I don't know.
we cut back
I can't think
to
of any reason she's here other than just like just enjoys messing people, boss them around.
yeah, yeah, and like you're gonna see more and more of Judy as it goes, but like if you can figure out what she does for a living, I'd love to hear it. Um, so then we come back to the Woods house, and we see the dad, and he's throwing out all his conspiracy theory stuff. So like he's not gonna find out if any foul play was involved in his wife's death, even though no one's found the body because it just blew up in a rocket ship. So like I don't know what like foul play he suspects, but whatever, that's fine. So he he throws it out, and then like it pans to the garbage can, and we see a picture of Ryan Woods, their mom, and Judy. Dun dun dun. And then that's the end of the episode.
So, as per the usual for these shows, not a whole lot happened. More setup for stuff that I'm sure is going to be resolved immediately next episode.
Yeah. So we covered everything timely fashion, but I just have one question for you guys out there. Did you hug me and make peace with me
Just so
just
you,
to
my
steal my
Louie, do it just to steal my Louie? I'll never forgive
You betrayed me.
you.
Now I am the fool.
Now I am
Just like I want someone to splice in greenhouse and room quotes together.
you betray me. I'm fed up with this world. I never
You
stole
stole
your
my Louis.
Louie. You're lying. I never stole it. Is that what Alex? Is that
Oh
his name?
my.
God,
Yeah,
I don't know what
Alex.
to say.
He needs. Yeah, he like honestly can like recast Lewis as Tommy was so.
Oh my god, that would make this show so cool.
Oh my gosh, that would be everything. Okay. All right, that's it for now.
Catch
Bye.
y'all next time.